right, last 4 appearances for Carolina in the Eastern Conference Final. Note the record, 1-16. Brind'Amour was a player on the 09 team, and he has coached the last 3, coaching the 2019 team and, of course, 2023 and this year. Of note here, guys, the Hurricanes, over the last 4 years, including playoffs, Mike, they've won 235 games. That's the most wins in the history of the league over a 4-year span for a team not to make a cup final.
So it's hard in the moment because everyone's so disappointed that your season's over. It's hard to take a step back and say, you know what, maybe there were some good things we did there. Maybe some positive. We are one of the Final Four teams that are still playing. We're not as good as the team that just beat us, but we're not a bad team either. And Rod Brind'Amour was asked about that, and he said, yeah, thank you. Like, it's not all doom and gloom. It's not all negative. Didn't help at all that 2 defensemen that they rely on in Walker and Chatfield were not
It was a huge factor.
Huge factor.
Not an excuse, but reality.
Part of the reality. And they played a team that's going to its 3rd straight final. Like, a historically great team. Florida at this point has to be considered for going to 3 straight finals. It just doesn't happen. I know what happened with Tampa, who also deserved that consideration, but it just doesn't happen very often. So Carolina, the question for me always with Carolina, and we'll have more time to dissect, is that they're so good in the regular season. They play unique style, pressure, forecheck, pinch, everything up the ice. And I wonder if they play closer to their peak game in the regular season than every other team in the NHL. So that when you get to the playoffs, there's not as much room for them to get better because they're already almost as good as they're going to get. Versus the other teams around
other teams elevate,
have a chance to elevate. When the other teams elevate, they surpass maybe a little bit where Carolina was, even though Carolina does better than the regular season. I wonder if that has something to do with it. I would look at these results, 1 in 16 or whatever, like the last few years. They're probably not as good as the teams they're playing. You know, they probably wouldn't deserve to win those games, but they
to
probably
his
want to
point,
form.
Mike, they lost Jake Gensel. They lost Brett Pesci. They lost Brady Shea off of last year's team. And Kenny, coach is very impressed. Brind'Amour seems very impressed with the young guys that had the opportunity to get some experience.
I'll just say this real quick. He's protecting his players. Like, I don't think Morrow and Nikisha, like they played, but they were not great in their role.
Might have bright futures. Nikishin in particular,
for sure.
Think he's going to be a player.
But I don't know. I think he's protecting. Stankoven, he was good. They want him to be there. But they were in a tough spot with those young guys playing on defense.
Yeah, I thought it made a world of difference, and this might have been a longer series. Chatfield's an important piece for that team, and they missed him. Walker as well. I mean, Chatfield plays the game hard when they were getting physically outmanned early in the series, and I thought Carolina bounced back terrifically the last 2 games from that standpoint in the physical aspect, where Chatfield could have really helped seal plays, shut plays down in his own zone where Florida's so effective on the forecheck. But it is what it is. Every team goes through injuries. It's not easy to win this league. Carolina is a really, really good hockey club. I know the ultimate goal is to win the Stanley Cup. 32 teams have that dream of hoping in September that maybe we can win the Stanley Cup. Some realistically don't know it's quite there yet, but a handful do. Carolina's one of them. They're a contender. That is a heck of a hockey team. I agree with Rob Brind'Amour. You got to take a lot of positives away from it, but all you do, you dissect it in the offseason, see, okay, one more time, we got to the Eastern Conference Finals. What are we missing? Are we missing a sniper? Are we missing a certain piece? Do we have to play a little differently or maybe rest some guys down the stretch? Whatever it may be, kind of alluding to what you're talking about, Mike. I think they're a hell of a team. They ran into, again, a juggernaut, this Florida Panthers, who have kind of set the standard, like you had mentioned, of what consistency, what depth is, and why they're going to their 3rd Stanley Cup Finals. But I would take a lot of positives. I really would. And I kind of agree with Brind'Amour. I get they got another step. Right. I get it, Mike. But there's a lot of good pieces there. I agree with them. And I love Aho stepping up. They needed a big gun to step up, and he did everything he could the last 2 games, and certainly tonight, to keep this series going and alive with the first 2 goals.
You referenced that number, the 235 wins or whatever it is. How many franchises in the NHL would have traded their most recent 4-year run for Carolina's? 25 of them? I mean, they are one of the best teams in the league, have been for years. Yes, they haven't got to the final. Yes, it's been disappointed, but they've been an elite level team for several years now.
And they also survived the Mikko Rantanen drama. Somehow that didn't work out, right? And they ended up making the conference final.